Hello, Canada! If you're watching this, you've been quite worried about the possibility of being annexed by the United States of America. I'm here to assure you that, yes, this is going to happen, and for some of you, it is going to be quite terrible. But for the majority of you, joining the United States of America will be a vast improvement as opposed to living under the authoritarian regime of your gay president. Some of you might be wondering, why is this happening? The obvious answer is quite simple. See, about half your flag is red and you've been acting like a bunch of communists who hate freedom. As such, under our divine right, we have come to free you from the suffering of being a slave. Clapping, 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 all around. I assure you, my fellow future Americans, that things will not be too bad. In fact, you should find living under the regime of America to be quite delightful, and I am here to explain how that is going to be. For that, we'll first start off with Yukon, the Northwest Territories, and none of it. I am here to tell you, first and foremost, if you live there, you are now a member of Greater Alaska, one of the best states in the entirety of the Union. As having 3 other Alaskas seems kind of inconvenient, we're just going to shove you into one Greater Alaska. For some of you, this might be a change. Really, I doubt anyone up there actually has internet to hear this, so it's not that big of a deal. But on the off chance you do, you'll be happy to know that you should have a lot more freedoms and privileges. You see, as a member of Greater Alaska, your duty to the United States is to provide us with raw resources. Oil, timber, any kind of metal we find up there, any of that shit. That's now ours. The benefit to you is that you now receive a portion of that as free payment. That's right. As a member of Greater Alaska, the government just gives you free money. You also have the freedom to do pretty much whatever the fuck you want up there, because frankly, we don't give a shit so long as you don't talk about leaving. If by chance you are some sort of native or Inuit, whatever the fuck the name is, then you will enjoy unmatched freedom. As a member of the United States, you are deemed to be a human. Congratulations, that is improvement under what Canadians think of you. You are bestowed the great right of having to pay no taxes. You can also just build a casino and dumbass white people will go there and lose their money to gambling. You also have the right to establish tribal police, which will have the fun time of racially profiling me as I accidentally drive through your reservation. Fuck you, Officer Redcorn, I didn't know. Moving on to British Columbia, you lot will be divided into like 2 states, with some of you going to Greater Alaska. The island of Victoria will be a state, and the rest of you will also be a state, separate from Victoria. I don't really know what happens there, nor does any American care, so for the most part, you guys are getting off scot-free. Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, if I pronounce those right, pretty much nothing changes for you except for the fact that you now get to govern yourselves. You're not at the whim of those assholes that live in Ontario. You get to do pretty much whatever the fuck you want, and we don't care. You're also now honorary red states, which means you now have beef with whatever the fuck British Columbia and Ontario are going to be called. For those people in Ontario, you're probably going to suffer quite a bit. It's my understanding that you guys kind of just make the rest of Canada do whatever you want, and as punishment, we're dividing you into like 3 states where you're kind of irrelevant now. Congratulations. Quebec, you guys get quite lucky. See, as Americans, we have preserved English in its original form, and those people over in the United Kingdom speak a gibberish language that isn't real English. As part of America, we will now insist that you guys speak the real French dialect, and that France is a bunch of surrender monkey, cheese-eating jackasses. Congratulations, you are now the real French people. You get to speak whatever language you want, and we will choose to tolerate it on grounds of not wanting to go bother you. So for Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick, we don't really care about you. You're probably going to get absorbed into Greater Maine, which, good for Maine. I think Newfoundland will probably be its own state. Now, some of the bad news. All right. Quebec, you are officially the French America. Congratulations, you are not allowed to make direct eye contact with Louisiana. We will, however, come up there and host a massive fuck you parade every now and again under the guise of it being called a Mardi Gras festival. We will get incredibly wasted and make complete asses out of ourselves, and you will have to tolerate that because you don't have a choice. Other good news for you lot is that you can finally tell Dad, aka the United Kingdom, to go fuck himself. We know. You were scared whenever the Revolutionary War came around, and you were a bunch of tiny little pussies that were too afraid to tell dad to go fuck himself like we did. You know, he's big, he's scary, he's got a navy, yada yada yada. Congratulations though, you now are in on that beef and we will drag you into it. Fuck the United Kingdom. Why are they even called the United Kingdom? They barely even own any of Ireland. That's like saying Turkey is part of Europe just because it owns a tiny bit of Thrace. Whatever. Other good news for you lot, you're actually allowed to wave the former Canadian flag around, but you're going to look like those jackasses in the South that raise Confederate flags. So if you ever thought they looked stupid, congratulations, that's you now. You're the dumbass. Other good news for you lot, every time you go to the hospital, they're not going to try to convince you to kill yourself to save money. Yeah, I know, you thought socialized healthcare was going to be the damnedest thing ever, but it's not. It's fucked up. We've been looking. Yeah, sure, I might bleed out in an emergency room, but at least when I get in, the doctor doesn't suggest I off myself. That's part of the reason you're becoming part of America, because we've been looking at that and we think it's fucked up. You know, maybe with you guys around now, we can kind of fix our healthcare system a little bit, but you know, none of that communist bullshit, okay? We're America, we fought a war over that, and you now fought a war over that too. You're a part of that. No more of that socialized bullshit. For those of you that have thought of yourself as the Europe of North America, yeah, no, that shit's over with. You gotta remember in 1776, we fought a war over not giving a shit what Europe thinks, and unfortunately for you, you're involved in that now. That's right. You don't give a shit about what Europe thinks. None of what they say matters, because it fucking doesn't, because they're Europe. Who gives a shit? Oh, ho, 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 Americans and their shitty cheese. Yeah, whatever, jackass. Even Walmart has cheese wheels now, okay? You're not special. We make wine better than you. Fuck you, France. Other benefits that might actually affect you is that now the 4th of July is a federal holiday where you live, so it's a perfectly good excuse for your neighbor to get loud and set off explosive devices. No, you don't have a choice in that. Call the police. They're going to tell you to fuck off. Other little fun bits, though, is that we've decided to keep the Canadian Mounties on the fact that we think they're kind of cool. On the bright side, though, they're now legally your sheriff, which means that if you don't like them, you can just vote for someone else to do it. That's right. Your vote actually matters now. Congratulations, Canada. You have freedoms. You have democracy, and all that other stupid shit we Americans pretend like we care about. This is the part of the video where you might be thinking to yourself that it's unfair. You're an independent country. You matter. To which we Americans, aka your fellow countrymen, have this to say. No, you're not. You've always been a colony of the United Kingdom, or you've been a satellite state of the United States of America. Hell, your entire economy basically relies on selling us cheap shit. Okay? Yeah, you think you're smart putting tariffs on us? Fun fact, like more than 50% of your exports go to us, and like the imports that you provide us are less than 5% of what we get. Okay? That's 5%. You're going to cut that off compared to losing half your economy? Yeah, you fucking matter, right? No, you don't. Okay? You're our gay little brother, and it's about time you start acting like a man. And part of acting like a man is listening to us. Because unlike Dad, we're still an empire. And it's going to be that way for a while until someone finally shuts us up. Is it going to be you? Fuck no, it isn't. You're Canada. Who gives a shit what you say? You're part of America now. Congratulations. You're the North America of North America. You might also be thinking, hey, we burnt down the White House in, the War of 1812? Yeah, that wasn't you. You were a colony. You're not an independent country. Those were British regulars. And you know what? That was still a white peace. The British have never won a war against us. Look it up. Scoreboard, motherfucker. Hey, I heard the Europeans tried offering you membership in the European Union to help defend your democracy. Yeah, you're right behind Turkey and Ukraine. I'm sure you'll get in any day now. What, you think NATO's gonna help you? Hey, do you know who funds NATO? That's right, the United States. Those jackasses are nothing without us. And you know, even I hate that. But hey, America's an empire and we're finally acting like that. So, you know, you're straight up fucked. Oh yeah, they're gonna risk, more than half their budget, army, supply, all that shit when Russia's swinging its dick around to defend Canada, land of the maple fucking leaf? What are you, fucking high? When you really think about it, the fact that Canada exists and isn't already part of America has just kind of been a missight on our behalf. One of our presidents kind of decided arbitrarily what the border is going to be, and we've kind of maintained it out of, a sense of indifference. Who's going to go beat up our gay little brother? Nobody. But then he starts talking about like killing his own civilians to save a buck. And we're kind of looking at it like, man, it's kind of fucked up. We should probably go in there and do something about it. And doing something about it is forcing you to be either states or territory of the United States. It's nothing personal, it's just you've kind of proven your incompetence with being an independent country. Hell, you elected Trudeau as your premier, whatever communist idea you have of a president, and what's he been doing besides fucking up your country? Well, I'm wondering is how the hell can you guys be so progressive and accept the fact that this guy just dresses up in blackface for fun? Oh yeah, you're nice. Hey, heads up, that's the only thing you've got, and most people say we're more polite than you. Sure, I'm being a dick right now, but this is for comedy, okay? It's not my fault that you guys have fucked up your country so bad that now Americans are thinking that you'd be better off as basically a subject instead of just being a vassal kingdom or a satellite or whatever the fuck it is that you've been for the past 100 years. It's like if you look over at Europe and you look at Belarus, and when you realize that thing is basically Russia, but as a satellite state, that's what you are. You are the Belarus of North America. And your people are suffering, and you're kind of defending, our divine right to that oil you have up there. Did you really think that what we did to Iraq and Afghanistan and all those other shitty countries no one cares about, you really think we wouldn't do that to you if you defend the oil from us? No, that's our oil, okay? And you know what's really messed up? You guys are just a bunch of Americans to begin with, okay? When we won the War of Independence, the loyalists, those loyal to the monarchy, they left. They went to Canada, okay, to form like little cities and all that. Everyone up there is just an American with the delusions of independence. And that's a mistake that we've decided to correct, okay? You are, and you always have been, basically the other America's vassal state, okay? And we're trying to remind you of that in the most peaceful way possible. You got a problem with it, we can blow up whatever your capital is. I don't even know. Where the fuck is it, in Quebec or some shit? No one cares. No one here cares because we don't take you serious as a state. Hey, final little point of preference. On the bright side, whenever you become a state, we'll have to take hockey serious as a sport. That's right. America is finally going to be, once again, #1, baby, in hockey. The definitive white people sport. Congratulations. And heads up, if you're Indian in Canada right now, we're going to fucking send you back. That's right, you're going to have to go back to Superpower India 2025, bitches. You're going to go back there and you're going to have to run a fucking scam center because we know damn well you don't belong in America. And we've made Canada America. Tune in next time when I talk about what we're going to do to Greenland, and after that, Mexico and the rest of those shitty places that think that they have any right to tell us how we're going to run North America. It's fucking over, bitches. Trump!